These are the 5 most downloaded mods in City Skylines, and you need them to unlock full control over your city. Let's get started. This is the most downloaded mod on City Skylines 2, and it is essential for so many things. The Move It mod allows you to, of course, move things, and you can access it by pressing this symbol on the bottom right, which opens the mod, or you can press N on your keyboard, that opens it as well. Now, going through the interface, you have different modes. The single mode, which is selected by default. It allows you to pick singular nodes like this tent here, or it's a tree, and you can move it around. You can take singular buildings just like this and just click it and drag it wherever you want to have, for example, closer to the sidewalk or a bit further back. The great thing is with all of these features, you can press undo, which will remove it to the original place. Let's show it again. Let's say we just take a building and just put it somewhere random. You have to be careful they disappear. If they don't have road access, there are other mods for it that solve this. If you just put it here, you can press go back and it will put it back at the original spot. I have to do it twice right now. And you can even undo the undoing. So you could just get it back by pressing the button on the right. This is probably the most useful feature of it. Next, there is the marquee tool, this rectangle here in the middle. It allows you to, by dragging over the buildings, select multiple. It doesn't have to be buildings, it can be nodes, it can be streets, it can be trees. You can select as many as you want and then move them all together somewhere. This is if you want to keep a certain arrangement. Of course, undo works as well. And for this one, there's a really useful tool. These are the filters in the bottom right. You can select the things you want to move. So if we disable everything apart from plants, for example, and we make a new selection in the same area, we just drag the circle, and now only plants, which are these circular things, are selected, which then we can move out of the buildings or move around freely. This works for buildings, surfaces, props, nodes, which we'll get to, segments, basically everything you would want to select, you can select singularly. The last of these 3 tools allows you to highlight street nodes, with which you can shape your streets custom as you wish. For example, curving a street around after placing it, just like this, or dragging the point of the intersection somewhere else, just shaping it to the exact desires that you have. So you can make all the funky and crazy intersections you would love to have. Lastly, in the toolbox, you can see there are some more special features like to object or terrain height. You can choose whether the object you select and move around will stick to the height it currently has or will adjust to the height where you place it. And you can select how to rotate buildings. If we take one again here, we can move it around and you can decide how you want to rotate buildings. So if we take one here, right now it's rotated around the center, and you can change that up for your preference as well. These are the basic features of the mod. If you would like to see an in-depth tutorial on it, let me know in the comments. This is the Anarchy mod. In short, it allows you to do everything that the game does not allow you to do. So let's hop in. You can enable it by pressing Ctrl A. If you have the Unified Icon Libraries mod installed, it will show a fiery chirper in the bottom right. If no, it will look the same, but the mod still works. I installed it so you can see when it is active and when it is not active. And you can disable it again by pressing Ctrl A again. Now, let's say you want another small elementary school inside the area of this college. Of course, it does not let you place it here. Why would it? Now, if you press Ctrl A, enable Anarchy, you see no more red complaints and you can simply drop it down. Now you have a school inside a school with a bunch of trees inside. Now you could start deleting certain of these trees or move them with the Move It mod that I showed in a previous video. But that's not a problem for us right now. Next, it complains about streets, which technically you can add with Anarchy enabled as well. Going back, without Anarchy, you just can't do it. The game will complain. If you enable it, you can just draw an alleyway going from here, maybe down to the main street. This elementary school here in the back is enabled and working. Sure, it doesn't look beautiful yet, but that's a future problem. This placing feature does not only work on buildings. You can do it with trees, for example. If you ever wanted a tree in the middle of the soccer pitch, you can just place it here, or you can just place a ton. Also, I didn't realize people were using the soccer field. That's nice. In general, something the Anarchy mod works really well for is to build custom buildings. So here, for example, you can see a gap between these buildings. You can build a custom one if you disable all the snapping and then move it inside the building that's next to it. Now you have a connected building that's just like one singular building that looks way nicer than with the gap in between, especially if you want to build a downtown area where the buildings are really close to each other. And especially with the Move It mod, it allows you to build custom buildings just like these ones here by moving different buildings into each other. Another really useful thing it allows you to do, let's say you want to build a road and you want to do an elevation like this that is really steep. Well, you can't do it, but if you enable the mod, you can just place it down and the game is happy with it. Want to go very steep back down, you can do it and you can build janky roads just like this. Oh, and of course it allows you to build outside the city limits, no problem. It's really useful if you want to add maybe another outside connection, but especially in the beginning of the game, you can't just purchase all these tiles going out here. Just do it with Anarchy mod. Let me know if you have questions or if you want to see more of it. The traffic mod allows you to succeed faster in everything relating traffic. In game, you can find it in the top left corner with this traffic cone icon. And you have the choice between two tools. Let's start with the lane connector tool. You begin by selecting an intersection, and here you can see all these nodes which show you where cars on different lanes can go. If you are unsure and you already did some stuff here, you can always press reset to vanilla. In this case it stays the same. Or another quick function could be remove U-turns. It highlights red what it will affect, so cars cannot turn around here. And I clicked it and you see it disappears now. Now cars won't make U-turns here, holding up traffic. And another quick option you can take is remove unsafe. If you don't want to do anything custom, this is probably a good choice to do if you have an intersection that has a lot of traffic jams. It just removes all the paths that take a long time to do. So after doing this, if cars come from here, they can continue go straight or go right. So just the easy paths. Another thing you can do, and for that I'm going to pause the game, is you can remove all connection. You can now see that the game is complaining about it, but this allows you to draw all the connections you want to have in custom. You press the node you want to create a line from, you press the node you want to go to, you click it, and then you can click other nodes where else people are allowed to go. Right click to delete, and in this case, so here we have a highway exit that is for small towns, so it's not a crazy exit. And we always have traffic jam problems in the back because people are really merging into this one lane. So I'm trying to fix it by only allowing these lane changes. If you come from the other side, you're only allowed to go straight through the intersection. And if you want to exit the city from this one-way street, you're only allowed to take a right turn. This could be a really simple setup for this intersection. To prevent this like early lane changing, you can go to the street that is affected, and here of course also remove U-turns and make sure that all these lines are straight. And after making any change, you should probably speed up the time and take a look at how it is going. Now we can see all the cars are jamming up here because they all want to go in the left lane. This is something the mod could fix as well, but in general the traffic is already flowing better with this new intersection design. Taking a look at another part of the city, we're going to check out the priority tools, which is the other one in the top left corner. You can simply select it and then again select an intersection. Now you have all the incoming lanes selected and there are options where they can go. In this case, I want this top of the T intersection being the priority street. So I will put a yield sign clicking here, it will now turn orange, and these streets will have priority. They are now green, resulting here now in this car stopping, while the others can go. Of course, there are pedestrians in the way as well, but this should make the traffic flow on this T intersection way better than this bottom street. I did this because there are buses like here driving across this street and they shouldn't wait too long. You can do these things at many intersections, sadly not yet at roundabouts. These are not supported yet, but will probably come soon. These are the basic tools of the lane connector mod. Let me know if you want to see more of it or you have any questions. In my other mod showcase, I have been asked what the unified icon library actually does, because it is a mod you have to install for many things. So let's very quickly go over it. This mod doesn't actually change anything in your game in a way that you would realize if you just installed it itself. It is called icon library, but it doesn't actually change your icons. It applies for other mods you install. So for example, the Anarchy mod, if you install the Anarchy mod without the icon library, the chirper icon in the bottom right always stays blue, and only with this mod installed it will turn red, because this is an icon that's linked in the unified icon library. So again, this doesn't do anything unless you have a mod that uses it, in which case, in some cases it is required and in some cases it is optional. If I play with mods, I just always have this installed, and in my playset it is just always enabled. Same with this mod that is quite similar, which is just a mod to help mods support your game and have it run smoothly. I hope this cleared up some questions. Let me know if you have more. This is the unlock all tiles mod. By default it unlocks all tiles, and you might wonder, if you create a new game, you can anyway choose to unlock all. So what does it actually do? And I promise you it has an actual use case. This is the game loaded up with all tiles unlocked. So you just have everything from the beginning. This is how you would use it normally, but there are more options. If you go to the settings, if you like the progression and don't just want to start with everything unlocked, you can choose to provide extra tiles at the start, meaning you don't have to wait for other tiles to unlock. And this has two more sub options. You can add more tiles to each milestones. I don't think this is so useful, because if you play the progression, you usually get more tiles for each milestone than you need anyway. But the more useful feature, provide extra tiles at the final milestone. This is so in the normal game, you don't get all the tiles unlocked. Even if you unlock the highest milestone level, Megapolis, you don't get access to everything. With this option enabled, you can get all the remaining tiles, so you can actually access everything. And two more useful features here. You can select the initial starting tiles with this enabled. Let's test this out. We create a new game. Be careful not to press unlock all now and just start it up. You see that there are technically now no single tiles unlocked, but you have 9 tiles to unlock. So this is the usual start. If you want, you could start, well, maybe here on this island, and you get the 9 tiles you have for free. You can even do something like this, where you select different tiles, and then this is your start. I really love this feature. You're not constrained to what Paradox wanted you to do, and it's a good way to start, keeping close to the vanilla style. Hopping back into the settings, there is another feature called relock all tiles. You can use it to get rid of unlocked tiles if you don't want to have a tile anymore. Maybe this is useful if you want to build somewhere, maybe infrastructure and streets, and then you can relock it after you build it. So it's not part of your actual city and you don't have to pay upkeep. And the last feature, if you want to have the game to be a bit more easy or harder, you can adjust the tile upkeep, especially in the beginning. I see many people struggling. For those, you could reduce the tile upkeep. It will reduce your city's costs. Or you could increase it up to 200% for a custom challenge. This will make expanding a bit harder, though I think the progression anyway isn't that crazy hard. It's not a hard game, and for some it's probably not meant to be. These were all top 5 mods. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy gaming!